Hello everyone and welcome back to round 8 of our F1 Manager McLaren Road to Glory. Yes, this weekend we're back here in the Baku City Circuit. Of course, if you missed out on the last video where we went to the duel in the Formula 1 crown, it was the Monaco Grand Prix. I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. And we've got quite a few big things going on, ready for this weekend. And the one, you know, the sponsorship obligations, yeah, they're all good and all. The underfloor upgrade is meant to be arriving here. This is the huge one that I'm hoping I haven't hyped up too much. Ready for this weekend's Grand Prix racing action. We probably won't be actually able to get it on the car ready for the Grand Prix, but still, you know, we'll wait and see if we can try and rush a couple of parts through. Ferrari still leading the way in the Constructors' Championship there. Charles Leclerc still on top in the Drivers' World Championship, but then again, we said all this last season as well. Ferrari led basically from start to finish, and then still Max Verstappen managed to poach it away from underneath them there. Still P5 in the Constructors after a good turnaround of form last weekend that as well, and Drivers' Championship there. Lando Norris still scoring pretty much all of our points. Oscar Piastri has been poor, to say the least. But, of course, if you're new around here and you haven't already, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed. F123 now is literally a month away. This is going to be the best place for Formula 1 content. And make sure you follow my Twitch as well. We're live streaming more and more over there at the moment. That, you know, if you enjoy this kind of stuff, we know we get up to some fun shenanigans as well. But let's see them. Whether this upgrade is all going to go onto the car, you can see we refurbished the Tour Centre as well. Nothing all too cool about that particularly. But yeah, we've only got, I think, a handful of days to try and get these new underfloors onto the car. So whether it's just a question of getting one of them built this weekend. We want to go manufacture it, don't we, of course. Underfloor, the UF3, so we can rush them. One of them is going to take 3 days. The second one will only arrive after the weekend, so I think we should just about have enough time to get one done before this weekend's action. No, 2 days until Azerbaijan, so we might be able to get it on the car for Saturday. Not quite sure how that will work, but anyway, let's head out then here to Baku.
Hello from Baku, where we're looking forward to a weekend of racing among the medieval and the modern, here at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Drivers will be battling it out on the streets of the Baku City Circuit, a real contradiction of a track. From the long main straight, where the less drag the better, to the tight turns, where downforce is a necessity. Teams are going to have to work hard to get that balance right. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder, what else is in store for the teams? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's get this underway.
Right, well, here we are then, back in Azerbaijan, and as Crofty just mentioned there, of course, a very, very technical circuit that we're going to have to be very, very careful around this venue. But, yeah, haven't, obviously, like I said, been able to get that new underfloor on the car just yet. But we're going to try and make some modifications to the setup, as always, to try and give ourselves the best fighting chance. Of course, top speed is absolutely essential around here, so we are really going to try and prioritise that as well. But yeah, let's get both cars out onto the circuit. Of course, very, very different setup to what we needed last weekend. Well, of course, Azerbaijan, Baku, a very, very scary circuit inside F1 Manager. Anything can go wrong around here, and often it does as well. So what will be the big storyline this weekend? I mean, really, there's only ever been two boring Azerbaijan Grand Prix in real life. The first one and the most recent one. So hopefully this isn't like they were. Well, you would like to hope around a venue like Azerbaijan that the AI would keep it clean and tidy throughout all of free practice, but will we see any mistakes? Let me know down in the comments below. Lando happy with the car, nice and early. We'll get him back into the pit lane, yeah. Oh, no, we won't, apparently. Oscar Piastri, though, actually quicker early on in the session, so good job done by Oscar. I mean, at the moment, I know we've said it before, but he is really driving his Formula 1 career, and again, he also seems happy and comfortable. Oh, Mick Schumacher binned it down at turn 1. What has he done? Don't say he's come together with Valtteri Bottas. This is a very, very high-speed part of the circuit. Nope. Big lock-up. Was never in a million years going to make that down at T1. And yeah, already under pressure down at Williams. That's just made things even worse. Well, late on then, here in free practice 1, pace is looking okay. I suppose, relative to a lot of the other cars there. Max Verstappen looking quite fast. I mean, to be honest, I'm not really expecting this to be a particularly brilliant circuit for our car anyway, just due to the nature of the high-speed, areas. This car has not been good around the high-speed circuit so far this year. Spain and Monaco should, in Spain's regard, have been our happy hunting ground, but yeah, we'll try and fine-tune what we can still. Like I said, I'm going to try and emergency get those chassis on, those underfloors on, ready for qualifying as well. We should definitely be able to get one, but it's whether we can get both.
Welcome back as we continue our race weekend. Practice has finished and qualifying is hot on its heels. Drivers will have to demonstrate remarkable consistency as they progress through qualifying. Those at the very top of their game will be looking to lay down a lap time that sets them apart from their competitors. Sometimes that's a mere fraction of a second. Here we go, folks. It's time to get started.
Well, immediately chucking ourselves then into Q2. Seems like we have been able to put the new underfloor on both of the cars. They're a cheeky emergency upgrade ready for the weekend. That does mean that if we get any issues with it, then we are well and truly screwed. As hoping, that AlphaTauri definitely blocked Oscar Piastri almost immediately on his first run here in Q2. Looks like we should be fairly close on pace. We did our runs a little bit out of sync to everyone else. That meant that we didn't quite get a full representative come the end of Q1. But yeah, we're looking like we might be able to get Lando Norris back into Q3, as has often been the case so far this year. There are 1:44. One is not a particularly competitive lap time by Sergio Perez. I think Oscar Piastri is still there or thereabouts on the money. What's Lando Norris going to be able to do? Yeah, only 7/100ths of a second quicker. So clearly both drivers then feeling quite fast in this car. As let's wait and see if Lando Norris then gets held up behind this AlphaTauri car as well, as we make our way through towards the end of Sector 2. It is, of course, Pierre Gasly there. Sebastian Vettel already with a time on the board. It's still so weird seeing him in an AlphaTauri car there, as Bottas goes just 4/100ths behind the Ferrari. Maybe he's got to be the driver that I hire ready for the second half of this season there. Around the outside of Pierre Gasly we go. Looks like we should still, therefore, be able to get some decent data out of it. As there we go, Oscar Piastri fastest of anyone through Sector 2, so that's pretty good going. Lando Norris a few tenths away, so he definitely lost a bit of time there as well. But Oscar Piastri then up towards the start-finish line. This lap wasn't as ruined as I thought it would be then, and clearly we have got some decent potential in the car, of course, through the through the lower speed technical sections of this venue. That is going to be a 43.3, so it goes quicker than Charles Leclerc there, who was provisionally fastest. Lando Norris probably going to go around P4 would be my guess. Yes, there we go. Just under 3/10 away, but Oscar, hats off to him. Well, with how tight the margins are here, we really are just trying to use everything we've got to get into Q3. If we make it there, then we've only got one real run at it, but it's just about trying to make it into that final knockout session there. Max Verstappen currently fastest, but Hamilton and Sainz, 3 cars from 3 different teams, covered by less than 1/10 of a second, and that's not bad. Around 6 kilometres of the Baku city streets. I'm sure we'd love to see that a bit more in real life 2023, but yeah, what are we going to be able to see then from Oscar Piastri? Lando Norris currently the driver right on the cusp, but Russell and Sergio Perez, surely we'll see both of those cars improve. Right, we're heading down in towards the final few turns then. Charles Leclerc, just like we saw in real life, able to go fastest, but Max Verstappen this time around going even faster onto a 42.4. Hamilton will stay in P3 there. Sainz improving onto a 42.2, so the times are really tumbling towards the end of qualifying there. Perez and Russell have both got pretty safe bankers in as well as we get up towards the start-finish line. Then Magnussen will go quicker than Oscar Piastri. Gasly and Bottas currently both making it through as well. Oscar Piastri unable to improve, but Lando Norris 3/10 up come the end of Sector 2. Will this be enough to get both of our cars into Q3? Yes, it will, and he even goes quicker than George Russell. So fantastic lap by Lando Norris. Like I said, we've only got one run in Q3, but both cars through. I tell you what, this is the driver that I want to be on board with them, ready for our final run in Q3. We did do the first runs, and I mean, even then, Lando Norris is again gone quicker than George Russell, so the pace that this new upgrade has provided has been absolutely essential here in qualifying. We didn't even have it on the car on Friday night, but we've managed to rush it through, ready for the rest of the weekend, and around a circuit that I honestly thought would be one of our weakest. Suddenly, we've got a bit of an opportunity here. Carlos Sainz currently fastest at the end of the first runs. There's Charles Leclerc just behind him, and Red Bull nowhere near. 6 tenths back for Max Verstappen, and Sergio Perez an entire second away. There is Oscar Piastri. What's the time going to be at the end of Sector 1? It's again a 35.7 there, so pretty much what he's been doing all weekend long up to this point. Lando Norris, could we see him go any quicker? 35.6. Lando Norris is getting faster and faster as he gets more and more adjusted to this car. As you can see, a final few drivers heading out of the final corner. Magnussen unable to improve there, stays in P7. The next up will be Pierre Gasly. Will he be able to get himself off of the bottom of the top 10 there? Potentially oust Oscar Piastri. No, he will not. Gasly will stay in P10 as we watch all the other cars up towards the start-finish line. Then Verstappen, only good enough for P3 there. Sainz unable to improve. Perez unable to improve as well. No one is improving at the moment there. Surely George Russell can try and bolster himself up the order. No, the Mercedes stays in P8 then. Late on in qualifying here, so it really is down to our two drivers as Oscar Piastri down into the 40s there. Lando Norris, though, going even quicker in front of him. So are we potentially going to see Lando Norris get the better of Hamilton and Sergio Perez here as he winds his way through the final couple of corners? Hopefully Oscar Piastri can get the jump on the second Mercedes as well. Is this new underfloor upgrade going to be the key to push us to best of the rest there? Oscar Piastri does beat out George Russell and goes into P8 there. Will Lando Norris get another couple of spots? No, he won't. 4 thousandths of a second behind Lewis Hamilton, but you know what? We'll take it.
The time has come to fight it out. It's race day.
Qualifying went well for McLaren, and they're set to start this race feeling quite comfortable. Alpine had a tough time during qualifying and are starting further down the grid than they would like. But in the right hands, it can still be converted into a good result. And the race will be taking place under blue skies. That means the teams should be able to apply their strategies without any added complications.
Well, whatever happens, it's sure to be a tremendous race day here at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Well, here we are then, ready for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Race day Sunday here, and things are about to get interesting. 51 laps around this venue, and it does look like the one stop is going to be the way to go. We'll go mediums to hards for Oscar. We'll split the strategies like we so often do there and try and go softs to hards with Lando Norris. Could do with a little bit of extra fuel. We may as well there just give ourselves a bit of extra running power later on in the day. But I mean, yeah, sensibly, if we can keep up with the Mercs and beat them, that would be absolutely fantastic, of course. So we still want to try and prepare ourselves to beat out them come the end of the season. But clearly the big upgrade is the way to go. We just need to focus on making sure that every upgrade we do is providing the car with much better straight line speed. But let's get into it then. Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
We have beautiful blue skies overhead as the drivers line up on the grid. And there's Lando Norris. They're in the front half of the pack, so there's plenty of potential for them. And it's the other McLaren. Not as close to the front as they might have wished for, but we know the race order can change a lot during those first few corners. The teams are ready to go. This is what you've been waiting for. It's the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Well, absolutely no hold there off the lights, but we are immediately going to try the cheeky little strat going on the overtake mode, seeing if we make up some places down at the first corner there. As you can see, we mainly, I want to get around Magnussen. He is not a driver that I want to be dealing with too much throughout this afternoon. This looks like Lando Norris is already going to be trying to apply pressure to Lewis Hamilton just a little bit further up. But yeah, I just want to try and get around Magnussen as early as possible in this GP there as we rocket down in towards turn 3. Oscar Piastri trying to have a look at the inside of the Haas car, but Kevin on the soft compound tyres as well, so not going to be able to find a way through in the first couple of corners. Looks to have actually been a fairly composed start by just about everyone, as Lando Norris then still sat all over the back of Hamilton there. I think we can immediately bring him back down into the neutral, try and just use that Mercedes there. It's going to be interesting to see what Red Bull are able to do today. Oh, look at that Ferrari at the front of the field there, side by side, as we head up towards turn 8 on just the opening lap. Carlos Sainz forced to back out of that one, and that could have got very, very congested incredibly quickly. But yeah, everyone being very, very neat and tidy on the opening lap here. You can see I want to try and break away from Magnussen as best as possible, you know, do what we did all the way back in Bahrain, and that's just get out ahead of the midfield runners there. Of course, Haas have had a bit of a turnaround in recent weeks. It seems like Alpine have really taken a step backwards as well there. As you can see, Oscar Piastri still applying pressure to the Dane out of the final couple of corners. You know what, yeah, we are going to have to go deploy as well with Lando Norris. They're trying to get him that 1 second gap to Kevin Magnussen further behind. You can see already how much battery we've used with Oscar Piastri there as we head out through the final couple of corners. Are we going to be able to try and get a run on Magnussen as we head back down towards turn 1 then? It is a very, very aggressive strategy on this opening lap, but I think we have actually used all of the deploy that we're allowed to there, so we're going to have to be a bit careful with that early on in this race. But Leclerc leads ahead of Carlos Sainz then. Max Verstappen still in P3. Already a 1 second gap to Sergio Perez, though down in P4. So could we try and use this to Lando's advantage there if we're going to get these guys fighting early on this afternoon? All clean and tidy though. A massive surprise here in Azerbaijan. Right, DRS has now been enabled then in this Grand Prix as we start lap 3, and Sergio Perez is going to be the first car not able to get it. Luckily as well for us, there's a gap forming behind George Russell there, so it really does look like we kind of got a big 8, and Kevin Magnussen able to break free early on. He seems to be, I mean, there's quite a few of us on the soft compound tyres as well, which is reassuring. Depends obviously what the strategy is going to be like later on, as Perez losing the place to Lewis Hamilton potentially as we wind our way through this first sector. Will Lando Norris be able to capitalise in some way or another? No, I mean, a lot of the battles, you know, often you can try and switch a car off the corner, but that's when I'm racing. F1 Manager doesn't quite have that kind of realism. Lando Norris has now made the place over Sergio Perez as Oscar Piastri re-jumps George Russell then down at turn 2. These two are already starting to hold each other up a little bit, so it might be, of course, I think that Mercedes is still a little bit faster in race trim. I think, yeah, if George gets back past him, we'll tell him not to really fight him because we need George to keep us up with Kevin Magnussen there. Completely missed the move that Lando made on Sergio Perez, but I think we can just sit with these guys. You know, we're not in a bad spot here. If we can try and just, you know, play this out strategically, Lando Norris, we have got to be careful on those soft compound tyres. They will fall off. But Russell, yeah, we need to use those to help Oscar. It does look like early on, though, Charles Leclerc is the one that's made the start of this race work in his favour. 3.5 seconds clear of Max Verstappen already, as the Dutchman stuck battling with the number 2 down at Ferrari. But Hamilton's still 3 seconds behind them. Lando Norris is just sat applying the pressure to Lewis, but I feel like we've got to try and get through this first stint. It's really going to be when the hard tyres, of course. I'm guessing everyone is going to bolt on the hard tyres. Still low track grip as well, as you can see around this venue. But yeah, the DRS trains are going to be quite pivotal because I just don't think, if, you know, we've had this a couple of times. Australia was probably the best example. Very, very easy to overtake a car. Getting them out of the DRS range, though, is a whole different story. I tell you what, though, I'm so happy to see just how well this new underfloor upgrade is working there. The fact that now Mercedes could genuinely be a possibility to still be out come the end of the season. The opening few races were quite shaky, but massive, massive upgrade this weekend has kind of given me that little bit of hope still with F1 Manager at the moment. Looks like Magnussen has dropped back as well, so we're going to have to try and get Oscar Piastri on it and potentially making a move on him. But again, of course, you know, it's make the move and get away from Kevin Magnussen that's going to be the difficult bit, because, yeah, we could really sort of force Magnussen into a scenario here where he's stuck battling with the cars behind there. Look at that, Oscar Piastri. You don't often see moves down at the bottom of the hill. He's got no battery, though, on the exit as we round our way through the final couple of corners. I think that's just given Magnussen the DRS. But yeah, Bono very, very happy with that one. We'll go attack mode. We'll see if we can try and break free, because all we've got to try and do is gain another 3 tenths or so to Checo in front. But Magnussen there, you can see, still tucked up in the DRS. Come on, Oscar, you gotta go for it. We don't often see the strategies I'm hoping for to work on F1 Manager, but this time around it has actually paid off. Perez now just 5 tenths up the road, so this is really good. We've got both cars now nestled up in the top 7. Lando is trying to defend from Checo for whatever reason. We're about 2-3 laps, I think, out from the pit stop. But yeah, the hard tyres, surely, if they're anything like real life, can go the distance. We've just got to start trying to save some battery with Oscar. Yep, Lando Norris has just lost the place to Sergio Perez once again, so we are going to pit then onto a set of the hard compound tyres. 14 laps isn't bad going this afternoon. As you can see, Ricciardo and Stroll have pit. We've got yellow flags in sector 1. Can't see anyone off the road. Someone must have had some issues, though. Vettel spinning down at turn 10. How has he managed that? That's definitely not sector 1 either, F1 manager. I don't know, but he's held up an Alfa Romeo as well, which I guess helps us in the bigger picture. Anyway, no chance for safety car from that one, so yeah, Lando Norris still, he's going to dive into the pit lane at the end of this lap. Hoping he's going to come out in some clear air. No, he won't come out between the Alpine car, though, will he, of Esteban Ocon. Actually, you never know, he might be a bit closer to Sebastian Vettel than originally I'd anticipated there, as Lando Norris then Max Verstappen as well into the pit lane. So just under 1/3 distance, actually, is, yeah, really not bad going for a set of the soft compound tyres here, but like I said, just hoping we can get out in some clear air. I'm going to try and do a couple of push laps with Lando, see if we can undercut Lewis Hamilton as well in this Grand Prix there, as Hamilton now up to the podium places. Oscar Piastri, of course, has lost out as well in all of this, because he's now lost the DRS, so got to try and get him closer to Checo once more, as we are going to re-emerge just behind Alonso and Vettel here, so that's not worked out too perfectly, but yeah, we'll go full attack mode for a couple of laps with Lando. Here we go. Sebastian Vettel has lost the place to Alonso though in this GP, so we got two of Formula 1's most experienced drivers just ahead of Lando Norris then. Multiple world championships between them, but let's get him on the overtake mode. See if we can try and get the Alpha Tauri and the Alfa Romeo there. Charles Leclerc into the pit lane. Magnussen, George Russell as well into the pit lane. So hopefully we're still going to be out ahead of those cars. As yeah, Oscar just trying to save up some battery and hope that he can stay close to Sergio Perez then, as maybe we'll see the German as well into the pit lane. Alonso trying to break the toe. And yep, there we go. Sebastian Vettel dives into the pit lane then. Come on, Lando, you need to try and get around this one as well. Up the inside to turn 1. That is an audacious move from Lando Norris there right at the last moment. But looks like he has got the jump on Magnussen and George Russell there, and actually done quite nicely with it. Just use the DRS out of turn 2, Sunshine, and try and get past the wily old fox that is separating us back from the top 10 then. Come on, Lando, you got to try and make it happen. Don't let him cover it off so much. Just get to the inside. Come on. This time around, though, it's going to be a question of when rather than if with Lando Norris. Not trying to use too much overtake mode anymore. I think battery saving is going to be quite essential once we've got past Fernando Alonso in there. There we go. This time round, should be able to get the move done. Down at turn 1, up the inside will go. And Lando Norris then back up into P10 of this Grand Prix. They're a good 10 seconds or so behind Max Verstappen at the road, so still going to have to be careful about that overcut, sorry, the undercut even on Hamilton and Perez, but you know what, we'll keep monitoring it and we'll keep trying to push there, as hopefully now we can get Alonso out of the range. Not yet, he's still having to defend. Come on, just get away from him now, Lando, get on with it, go, 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 go. It'll only be a couple of laps before Oscar pits. And there we go. Nando even taking fastest lap as well, 48.4. The bonus points would be quite nice if we could start having outside chances of picking those up. Ooh, Sergio Perez then into the pit lane, and look at the jump that Lando Norris has got on him. 6 seconds back now, Checo, and he was battling with Lewis Hamilton here. We've also got Daniel Ricciardo with a spin down at the bottom of the hill. This has not been Alpine's weekend so far. But yeah, 6 seconds back to Sergio Perez there. That is really reassuring at this stage of the day. I mean, for Lando Norris, we could be up into net P4, of course. Verstappen still a few seconds up the road, but we are looking racy. Sykes as well into the pit lane then. We'll promote Oscar Piastri up into P2. Could we be close to those Ferrari cars then as we head out of the pit lane? I don't really think we're probably going to be able to race them. But you know what? Yep, Lando Norris there. No, sorry, Verstappen's behind, isn't he, still? So yeah, we're about 2.5 seconds behind the Dutchman. I mean, we are only about 5 seconds away from the race lead here. But Oscar is going to have to manage the tyres later on. Lando even is going to have to manage the tyres later on. Oscar Piastri, though, is going to box at the end of this lap. I mean, yeah, Oscar definitely hasn't still quite got the same race pace as Lando, but, you know, he is going to be on fresher tyres right the way through to the checkered flag there. I mean, Perez is still dropping back further and further, so maybe... no, there's no chance we'll get the jump on the Mexican there. But, you know, if we can try and, you know, come back towards them later on in the afternoon, maybe we'll see some of the other cars two-stopping this. Don't know. Maybe we'll have to two-stop with Lando Norris as well. But Oscar Piastri then definitely on a one-stop strategy here, practically doing half a race on that set. I think he's just got to settle in now. It's only P9 for now, but if strategy comes back towards him, it is far from over. Let's just focus on your own race for a bit, young man. You know what? With 15 laps to go, sorry, 15? 20 laps to go even, Oscar Piastri is now right with George Russell once more in this race. Yeah, they're all pretty much... I mean, Hamilton, of course, is on much fresher tyres, so I think he's out of the question. But maybe, just maybe still, Oscar Piastri could snooker away P7 there. If we could get both cars ahead of both Mercedes, that would be really, really good. One each, of course, but still. Oh!
Here's the replay. Now just take a look at the McLaren.
Literally as soon as I turn away from Oscar.
A definite collision there. That's very
Is that out?
unfortunate.
He's got to go. He's got to go. I can't put up with him. That might be the final straw for Oscar Piastri. He's somehow still going, but no safety car either. I'm all right, but is he going to... Surely he can't make it back there. He's absolutely wrecked it. Are you all right out there? I'm okay. I'm not injured. Yeah, we're going to have to box, though. Oh, aerodynamic damage. Let's have a look. What car parts? What was he actually damaged? I can't really see. Terminal damage on the wings. That's fine. We got one of those. But I don't know what else he's actually damaged here. He's done minor damage to the chassis as well. At least it's not the underfloor that we've just built. But, I mean, we may as well try and keep him out. Let's see what he can do. But that is so frustrating late on in the afternoon. He's going to go on to mediums to the end. But maybe we can still get points out of it. But I'm not going to hold my breath. Yeah, effectively he's going to have to try and make up a pit stop on Esteban Ocon there. And, I mean, yeah, just when you start to think that things are going well for us on F1 Manager, Oscar Piastri able to find another barrier inside F1 Manager there. Perez is starting to take a bit of time out of Lando as well, so we're going to have to be careful to monitor that gap towards the end, whether we put Lando onto another set of softs later on in the day. But yeah, Leclerc, from having quite a big lead early on, is really struggling there. Sainz might be in prime position, doing that medium to hard strategy. Oscar Piastri, though, is going to re-emerge in P15. So yeah, he's got a lot of work to do, but he will be on softer, fresher tyres to the flag. I hadn't even realised Perez had got the jump on Lando Norris then, but 15 laps to go. Yeah, we go round the outside down at turn 3. Fairly textbook move for Sergio. We're going to have to gamble it with Lando Norris. We're going to try and go soft tyres to the end of the race, and he has only got one set that haven't had a lot of wear put through them. But yeah, it's going to have to be what we do there. I'm just not convinced these these hards even are going to make it back to the end safely. We should still be out in the points, but it's whether we're going to see some of the other AI have to pit as well. Hamilton probably won't, Perez probably won't, but can we still get Magnussen, Russell and Gasly before this race is done and dusted, as Oscar Piastri has finally closed back up to Vettel and Alonso? To be honest, he can do his thing. I've really lost any interest in Oscar Piastri and what he's doing this season. Lando Norris, though, diving into the pit lane, so he's going to have to push like crazy towards the end this afternoon. Like I said, should come out still ahead of Ocon and Bottas in this race, and should be a lot faster than a lot of the other cars around him. But it is still going to be a difficult end. Come on, don't come out behind that Alpine. No, we should be good. So how much quicker is Lando Norris going to be relative to these cars around him? That is the big question. It's the hard tyres. When they do fall off, they do fall off in quite a way. And there we go, new fastest lap of the day. So he is currently going about 1.5 seconds to 3 seconds quicker than Magnussen that lap. This is not over for Lando. This race is absolutely still to play for. Right, we are going to have to start micromanaging a bit more with Lando Norris, though. Push mode out of the final corner. Make sure we drain the battery to try and get a run on Pierre Gasly. Not up the inside there, surely not. By Lando Norris then tries to look around the outside. Come on, we can't afford to now sit behind him. So we head back down the start-finish straight. They're only 2 seconds back behind George Russell as well. Here we go then to the outside of Pierre Gasly. Surely this is going to be a done deal as we make our way back down. How has he not completed that move? Now he tries to look to the inside. Surely, come on, Lando. We're going in so much quicker than the AlphaTauri. I don't know why he's fighting us this much over it. But we do make it back through. Will we be able to hang on? Yes, we will. But, of course, Pierre is going to have the DRS as well. at the next couple of corners. So we're going to have to go deploy down the back straight now. We'll have to sit back again. Oh, these AI. These AI, man. I don't know. I mean, would Gasly fight this in real life? With 10 to go, potentially. But I can't help but wonder. Come on, then. Let's not start making a hash of this late on. Lando Norris. 9 laps to go. You can see the gap between Magnussen and Russell is... the gap between Russell and Hamilton even is really opening up more and more. But are we going to be able to try and look past Oscar this time to the inside again down at turn 1? Nope. Pierre Gasly even able to hang on to the place once again there. So we are just stuck at the moment in this battle there, this DRS train that has somehow now formed. I wonder if Magnussen and Russell are starting to struggle on their sets of tyres as well. Yeah, you can see a lot of these cars now, really their tyre wear is going up quite badly. So this is still definitely an opportunity for Lando late on, but he just can't find a way through. Come on! Also, as soon as I stop watching him, Lando Norris can make it past Pierre Gasly there. Let's see now if Magnussen and Russell are going to be a little bit easier to try and get by. But I mean, yeah, everyone's tyres really falling off late on this afternoon, so we've got to make sure the same thing doesn't happen to Lando Norris. 7 laps to go then here of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I'm amazed that the AI haven't tried stopping just yet, as Magnussen trying to look around the outside of George down at turn 1. Lando Norris, I mean, just over Verstappen from Miami and get both of them off the exit. 3 wide? Can he do it? Oh, that is incredibly scary there, but somehow they've all made it through, and Lando Norris has kept the DRS, and he has done a Verstappen. 2 places gained there, a beautiful little double overtake on George Russell and Kevin Magnussen then, so that is exactly what we needed. Now run away, get out of the DRS range this lap. That was fantastic. What is the gap to Hamilton up the road? It's got to be, what, like 13 seconds? I think that one might be just about decided. There's Oscar Piastri, 11 seconds, behind Ocon and Bottas, fighting for that final point. Oh, really? Really, Oscar?
We can take a look now.
I don't get it. I don't get he's done what Sebastian Vettel must have done earlier on, but he's got to go. He's got to go. We can't keep using Oscar Piastri on this game. He is atrocious. Someone's binned it. We've got a virtual safety car very late on in the day. DRS has been disabled. Come on, give us a safety car for these final few laps. Virtual safety car. I mean, we may as well box Oscar. He's got nothing to lose late on in the day. But if this went to a full safety car, I don't even know who's binned it. Yeah, we're just 4 laps to go. Pierre Gasly has crashed down at turn 15. So what has he done? Was that an opportunistic move? Nope, just drops it on the exit. That was terrifying, wasn't it, Crofty? But yeah, we'll box Oscar Piastri in then. But yeah, no safety car from this one, as Sainz and Leclerc now broken away from Max Verstappen. But yeah, Norris, I mean, this kind of nerfs any chance he had, but does also stop the cars behind getting closer to him. And I've just realised as well, putting Oscar Piastri on a set of softs is a really stupid idea, because of course we could accidentally take fastest lap bonus point away from ourselves. So I've told Oscar, just don't drive anymore. It says a lot, doesn't it, when you're literally asking your driver to drive slowly, not to screw the team. But that's where we're at with F1 Manager at the moment. Who is going to win this race, though, between Leclerc and Sainz? 3 laps to go. It is still all to play for there, as the Spaniard having a look back at the inside. This could have big effects later on in the championship, but do Ferrari assert number 1? Apparently not yet. Still side by side as we head through 2. I think Sainz has actually got the DRS, so he's going to be able to get in front once again. To be honest then, this is the battle that I really want to watch out for as we start the final lap of the Grand Prix. Ferraris potentially at war with each other then. Carlos Sainz leading the way as we start the last lap. But Charles Leclerc, we've often said how good he is around this venue. He will get the DRS off of the first couple of corners there. Will he be able to try and make a move down in towards turn 3? I mean, on F1 Manager, that might be the deciding factor, as Lando Norris also onto the final lap. No, Leclerc cannot find a way around him at the start of this final lap, so Charles Leclerc still stuck in at P2, staring at the back of his teammate's rear wing there. Those Velas logos right on show. But yeah, Ferrari delivering once more here. Of course, you know, it's been such an ebb and flow between them and Red Bull early on this season. It seems like neither team can really win sort of more than 2 or 3 Grand Prix before the other comes back swinging. But of course, victory last time out for Charles Leclerc in Monaco, victory for him as well in Barcelona, the race before that. Are we going to see Charles Leclerc back on the top step of the podium? 3 races in a row there. Max Verstappen and Red Bull haven't had the pace this weekend, so it is coming down to it between these Ferrari cars. But Charles Leclerc, he's half a second back. I mean, it is just a case of whether he'll get the DRS run at the final couple of corners. I mean, for our drivers, Lando Norris, even another fantastic job done by him. Strategy kind of screwed him towards the end, but you know what, P6 we can absolutely not moan about. Didn't quite take the points I'd hoped to at a Mercedes, but yeah, Oscar Piastri is well and truly definitely on his way out. But through the final couple of corners then, will it be Sainz? Will it be Leclerc then? They're going to be drag racing down towards the finish line here in Azerbaijan. Over the bumps they go on this street circuit there. Opens up the DRS for Charles Leclerc up towards the start-finish line. Who is it going to be? It is going to be Carlos Sainz then that takes the dub. Charles Leclerc, though, I think forced just to lift out of it ever so slightly up towards the start-finish line there. And I mean, with the extra pit stop, Lando Norris only being about 20 seconds back, goes to show just how strong this car has been. The new upgrades have worked, but it's a shame that Oscar Piastri really hasn't there. But Lando Norris, 8 more points for him. I think now jumps George Russell in the Drivers' Championship.
Lando Norris can be proud. What a fantastic performance from him. A fantastic result for McLaren there.
Just a really solid showing out there, which is exactly what they needed.
And after this result, the team is 4th in the constructor standings.
For the next round in Formula 1, the teams are travelling to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal.
Well, there we are then. That is a wrap from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and some really good points and some really bad points there. Lando Norris, fastest lap of the day, and fantastic race pace throughout there. Means he comes through and bags another 9 points, for the team, of course. But it is Sainz that takes the dub ahead of Charles Leclerc there. Both Ferraris, followed by both Red Bulls. But yeah, Lando Norris able to get between the Mercedes, just like he should have done in the championship as well. Magnussen, another good solid point score for Haas, ahead of Gasly and Daniel Ricciardo there, picking up the final point. And yeah, Oscar Piastri, he is going to be dropped by McLaren. I can confirm that. There will be a vote that will probably go live tomorrow over on the community tab. You guys can have your say, but honestly, I'm so fed up with him that I just can't cope anymore with the mistakes that he keeps coming out with there. 35 points to the gap for Charles Leclerc in the championship. Sainz now back ahead of Verstappen into P2. As I mean, Perez, only 14 points behind his teammates still. And yet, Lando Norris back up to P6 ahead of George Russell there. Oscar Piastri still down in P15. Albon jumps Mick Schumacher there in the battle of the back markers. And yep, we do get back ahead of Alpine as well, so we can definitely fight. But who will join Lando Norris and accompany him as a teammate? If you're not already, get yourself subscribed. Be back next time out where you find out. It'll, like I said, be down to your guys' votes. But yeah, fingers crossed we can now finally start clawing the gap back to Mercedes and the big two. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members. So a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below. And yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.